A new legend is about to start!
Persona 4 Arena is a game that no one saw coming. Released in 2012 for arcades, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360, Atlus and Arc System Works brought us the unlikely collaboration of an RPG and a fighting game. Arc System Works employs some of their trademark fighting mechanics seen in some of their staple franchises such as Guilty Gear and BlazBlue, while bringing elements of the critically acclaimed RPG. The presentation is fantastic. Graphically, the stages look great and the characters animate really well. The UI looks right at home with the RPG, taking many design elements from the game. Everything is crisp and is pleasing to look at. The TV presentation that the game goes for gives off a pay-per-view vibe as if you were actually watching a special feature on the Midnight Channel. Even if you haven't played Persona 4, the story is still easy enough to get into and it is very straightforward. There are a couple of references and a bit of fan service thrown in there for people who are familiar with the series. One of the most important aspects of a fighting game for me is the music. That, along with the presentation, are some of Persona 4 Arena's strongest aspects. Featuring a couple of songs from the Persona games, most of the themes are a joy to listen to and really add a lot of hype and excitement to a match. Looking and sounding great is good and all, but is the gameplay and its other offerings on the same level? Fortunately, the game plays great and isn't extremely difficult to get into while retaining depth for the hardcore players. The gameplay is broken down into 4 buttons, 2 regular attacks and 2 persona attacks. Pressing different combinations of buttons can lead to all-out rushes, evades, and furious actions. Your persona attacks summon your character's persona to do an attack, but they can be hit by the opponent. This does not affect your health, but it does remove one of your 4 persona cards. If they are all gone, you can suffer a persona break, which stops you from using any attacks that involve personas for a certain amount of time. All of this sounds really complicated, right? Thankfully, all of these mechanics and more are taught well in the game's lesson mode. After finishing the lessons, you should have a good grip on the way the game plays. There are a few ailments such as charm, poison, and rage that aren't explained that I learned about through playing the game enough. Arcade mode is self-explanatory, featuring similar arcade endings throughout the cast, which are shortened, less in-depth versions of each character's story mode. Versus mode is also par for the course, while network mode runs online games in a very playable fashion. What's left is challenge mode and score attack. Challenge mode is similar to the trial modes found in other games like BlazBlue and Street Fighter, offering 30 increasingly difficult challenges for each character. On the other hand is score attack. This is the one thing I hate about this game. Score attack is a brutal and unforgiving take on the classic survival mode, with you having to fight against the entire roster with them having ridiculous buffs. It's not worth it unless you really want to unlock a couple of navigators, which are announcers that cheer you on during the fight. It's neat and all, but it's not worth the rise in blood pressure. The game is fantastic, except for the blemish that is score attack. Other than that, the game is great and it really deserves to be played. So far, Ultimax looks like it's going to live up to my expectations, but we'll see in due time. Persona 4 Arena doesn't have many visible flaws, and it is a game that I am glad to have picked up. That being said, Persona 4 Arena is without a doubt a godlike fighting game that should be played by Persona fans and non-fans alike. Thank you for watching my review on Persona 4 Arena. Stay tuned for a review on the sequel soon after its release on September 30th. Until then, stay godlike, fighting game fans.